all things ideal. All things ideal.
Hi, I'm Donna Herberger, owner of the Ideal You Weight Loss Center. Welcome to All Things Ideal. Today, you'll meet successful dieters who will share their knowledge on living all things ideal. You will hear their stories, their tips and tricks that help them make small changes that had a big impact on their life. So, let's get started with All Things Ideal. Gwen is an architect who works in typical construction sites. For her, being overweight meant she wasn't always able to do what she wanted to do for her work. All of that changed when Gwen decided to join the Ideal You, and that changed her life. Hi, Gwen. Thank you for doing this. So I have to ask you, how did you hear about the Ideal You Weight Loss Center?
I heard about the Ideal You through an employee that I work with. And she was involved in the program and seemed to be having great success. And I wanted to be supportive at first and do that with her, kind of as an experience we could go through together.
Did you have an aha moment where you said, I need to lose some weight?
I fell at a youth soccer game and sprained my ankle really badly. I thought that I had broken my ankle, and I was rather heavy, so I was a little worried and knew that I needed to do something because I couldn't do that again.
As a profession, you are an architect.
Like a building, I really am, I am a structure, and I had way too much load on that structure.
What are you able to do now, either easier or what things you can do now that you couldn't do before?
The first is that I run now. I started walking towards the end of the weight loss effort to get a little more exercise. And then I realized I was walking for 5 miles a day, and it was kind of taking a long time. So I started to walk it faster, and then I started to run. The other thing that I'm able to participate more fully in my job. It had gotten to the point where I wasn't necessarily climbing ladders or comfortable walking around construction sites, but now I can scamper around a construction site or up a ladder with all the youngins.
And you have a couple of boys, you have twins.
My boys have told me they're proud, which is really the first time I think I've ever heard them tell me that they were proud of something I did. But they knew I worked hard to lose weight, and that really meant a lot to me to know that I made them proud.
And you're an inspiration.
I think so.
Tell us how much you lost and how long that took.
I lost 100 pounds in the course of a year. At the end of that, I lost another 10 pounds and exceeded my goal. So I've lost a total of 110 pounds. I've been able to keep that weight off for a year and 4 months now.
What was the strangest or most unusual reaction you received about losing weight?
Going through TSA when I have to hand over my driver's license, and the driver's license is still a much larger person, and they usually look at me, look at the driver's license, look at me again, and then ask me, how did you lose so much weight? And I go in and I tell them about the Ideal You program.
What did you like about coming in, the accountability or the coaches, the food? Is there anything in particular?
I enjoyed the program, and I liked going back every week. I appreciated that accountability. That's important. That's really, really important to kind of hold yourself accountable. I also liked the program. The food was good. The food was actually really good, and it allowed me, with the use of a cookbook that you also sell, and I still could make a full dinner for myself that I shared with my family, a nice, clean, healthy dinner that everybody could enjoy.
So tell us about your transformation with your clothes. You obviously needed an entire new wardrobe. What size did you start at, and what size are you now?
I'm embarrassed to say that when I started this journey, I was a size 22. Today I'm a size 4. And I actually have the high school jeans of some of my friends that I can fit into now that are probably smaller than the jeans I ever wore in high school.
And then you had a wonderful makeover.
I had a haircut and color, I had a manicure, I had a massage. I made a day of it.
I was with you the day you hit 40% and got Ideal. And on that day we measure top to bottom and we added up how many inches you lost. Tell us about that.
It was 83 inches. I can't even stretch my arms and hold 83 inches. So we took the tape measure and figured out where 83 inches was, and it, went nearly down to the ground as I was holding it. And it was really amazing to see that I had had that much on me and it was all gone. 110 pounds is a lot of weight to lose, but it's even more impressive to me when I think about the fact that that was 40% of my body weight. That is not an inconsequential amount. That is, a whole person, really a whole person. And I look back now, could I carry that whole person on my back? Absolutely not. But to know that I am no longer lugging that around, I feel like $1 million.
Not everyone who comes to the Ideal You Weight Loss Center needs to lose 50, 100 pounds or more. Some people just need to lose the last 10 to 20. Mary Lou, who you will meet now, lost 26 pounds and couldn't imagine how that was going to change her life.
5 years ago, I was working full-time as a nurse. I was not sleeping well, and at work I worked long hours, and I was not eating well, and I wasn't drinking enough water. I definitely wasn't hydrated. It was time for a change. I did the diet. I was able to lose 25.4 pounds in 2 months, less than 2 months. Yeah, and it was not hard. I like to stay busy and active, and I have a dog that I have to keep up with, and she's pretty busy, and it's a whole lot easier for me to walk her 4 miles in the morning before going to work than it was with 25 extra pounds on me. If you start to pull up the pictures that we take from your initial consultation to even just that first 10%, it is amazing how much younger everybody looks. A client who had considerable cardiac issues, and borderline diabetic with his fasting blood glucose, lost the weight in 2 months, has kept the weight off, came back in for another maintenance checkup, and when he started, the week I started him, his blood pressure was running in the 190s over the 110. His blood pressure at one point during this week was 100 over something. His blood glucose, which was very close to being a diabetic fasting, was 114. His fasting blood glucose was 79. It's so rewarding, you get a feeling that you are really helping. You kind of get to see, the benefits of, your coaching experience for people.
All things ideal. Become your ideal you.
Did you enjoy the accountability, and if so, what did you like about it?
I was psyched about coming and getting weighed in every week, seeing how much I've lost, and keeps me on track. It wasn't that tough because I had my mind set that I wanted to do this and that I was not going to cheat, and I didn't.
Become your ideal you. With Ideal You, your healthy rapid weight loss center. Call 631-THIN.
Last year marked our 50th anniversary, which makes Capello the longest operating salon and spa in Western New York. Years of consistency, commitment to education, and dedicated staff allow us to deliver the highest quality services and best professional products available. We strive to provide a comfortable, clean, inviting atmosphere, and Capello has been repeatedly voted Best in Buffalo. Capello Salon and Spa, styling beautiful lives so you can look and feel your best.
Become your ideal you.
You lost an astonishing 107.4 pounds. What can you do now that you didn't do before?
I have a granddaughter, and we took her to the fair a couple of years ago, and I sat on the benches while she went on the rides. I just want to participate in her life and not watch it pass me by.
Become your ideal you. With Ideal You, your healthy rapid weight loss center. Call 631-THIN.
Meet Dr. Rossina, Medical Director at the Ideal You.
Everybody gets arthritis if you live long enough. If you weigh more than you should, you're going to get it sooner than later. By keeping the weight down, you're either going to minimize or you're going to reduce the chances of problems developing. It's a question of a lifestyle.
Become your ideal you. With Ideal You, your healthy rapid weight loss center. Call 631-THIN. All things ideal.
Now you're going to meet Dave, who after he lost weight at the Ideal You, gave himself a big gift. He never imagined he could do a 550-mile bike ride, but he did. We have one of our clients, one of our dieters, who last year lost around 40 pounds, and he's kept it off for a year, and he just finished a 550-mile bike ride from New York City to Niagara Falls.
If I just looked back 2 years and looked in the mirror, there's no way I would have been able to ride a bike 30 miles, let alone 550 miles. So the first thing is you really have to change your body. And to change your body, you have to change your lifestyle. And we talked about, you know, there's so many things I've tried in the past, it's just never worked. You can lose some weight, but you always put it back on. And working with Ideal You it's not a diet, and it's a lifestyle. And even during the ride, I ate the same diet, the same type of food I had when I was on the Ideal You program. So that was the biggest difference, because it really changed my life. I think, you know, you could train as much as you want on the bike, as best you can, but I think just having that confidence and having the weight off for that long of a time really made a difference. Yeah, the anticipation was there of really what to expect. Being the first time rider, you really just don't know how hard maybe the entire week is going to be. And there were some really, really steep hills, and I just kept thinking when I was going up those hills, oh my gosh, if I had even 5 more extra pounds on me, I'm not making it. Can you imagine if I had 30 extra pounds on me? That it would have been ridiculous. The shortest day was about 71, and our longest day was 93 miles. So we averaged around 80 miles a day. I wore the Ideal You jersey on 2 of the days, and people were always asking, what is that? What's Ideal You? And some of the local people heard about it, and some of the people from outside the area were kind of interested on it. And I said, this really was important. I probably wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for Ideal You.
When Dave first approached me and told me he was going to do the ride to raise money for Roswell, he didn't even ask if we would sponsor, and my initial reaction was, I'd like to sponsor you. Every
night someone told stories about their experiences with cancer, the people who survived it, the people whose loved ones didn't. So every night you cried for the people who survived and the people who didn't. And when we all had the same drive to do this, to help find a cure for cancer, to raise money for Roswell, that made all the difference. It was more than just a ride, it's an experience. It's your heart and your mind. And if you have that focus, you can do it. And the same thing with the Ideal You program. It's not about a diet that I'm going to do to lose weight. It's about a lifestyle and a focus and making the right choices. And if you make the right choices, you'll be successful.
Coming up, we'll go into the kitchen for a quick and healthy Ideal meal.
All things Ideal.
Hi, welcome to our cooking segment, All Things Ideal, brought to you by the Ideal You Weight Loss Center. Today we are making chicken stuffed peppers, and our chef is Jeff LeVay, and we are cooking from the kitchen of Banchetti by Rizzo's Banquet Hall in Amherst.
Thank you, Donna. Today we have an ideal, real simple dish here. Anybody can make it home. So we have our pepper. We're going to take the top right off it. We're going to just basically take the seeds out. You want to get all the white interior flesh off it too. Right. We're going to put that into a boiling water for 4 minutes. We're going to go with.
Right.
And then after that, you're just going to want to cool it quick. You can either run a little cool water over it, put it in your fridge for a few minutes just till it's workable, and then you end up with a nice pliable cooked green pepper. We have the cooked chicken, boiled chicken breast, cooled it lightly, and you can sit there and just kind of pull away at it and press away at it until it breaks all up into pieces.
You could also do a variation of this, I was thinking, if you wanted to use just Italian seasonings. Maybe instead of garlic and ginger, you use parsley, basil, oregano.
I'm just going to cook up my ingredients here,
okay.
Which consists of some red pepper.
Okay.
We're going to cut it into chunks like that.
All right.
And then we're going to go right into our pan.
These are already cooked in olive oil?
These are roasted red peppers that you can buy at any store canned. We're going to put a little sesame oil in this. Sesame oil, it's slightly expensive in the store, but as you can see, I only used about an ounce of it. And then we're also going to be going in there with some fresh ginger. Basically, you're going to just peel it, chop it all with a knife, just like you would fresh garlic. You can put it through a garlic press, and then we're just going to hit a little bit of that into the pan, as well as some garlic. Then you can see the pepper starting to brown up a little bit.
Smells delicious.
We're going to use some green onions, scallions, and we want to cook those in as well.
And that's it with our protocol, and really with any meal preparation, it's the prep. making sure you've got the ingredients at home.
We're going to put some soy sauce right into this. 1.5 tablespoons. It's going to cook down a little bit. It is a low sodium soy sauce. Cool, now we'll mix this together. And then we're just going to kind of incorporate that into our chicken. And we're going to be taking 2 egg whites and just whisking them real quickly to incorporate some air into it for this dish. I have them already separated. We're going to go right into filling with it, but I put my hot ingredient in there so that the temperature can come down a little bit without having to, cook the eggs too quick.
When you eat an egg, the protein is in the white. The yolk is fat. So whenever you can do egg whites and eliminate the yolk, it's that much healthier and that a lot less calories. Now, the recipe you're going to see online is going to call for 1.5 pounds of chicken, and that will stuff 4, 5, or 6 peppers. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not really pressing it down. I'm just kind of lightly filling.
Yeah, if you put it too compact, you're not going to get it heated through. It's not going to be warm in the middle by the time that the outside's cooked.
And then we put this into a baking pan.
Yep. 350 degrees for approximately 30 minutes. When we plate, I do have a little Frank's hot sauce that we're going to give a little drizzle over it. So we have an ideal side to go along with the ideal stuffed pepper here today. 2 different versions. I got a grilled roasted head of cauliflower that was just split and sliced in half, or you can break it up into florets like you would see broccoli or and buy it, in the frozen. But this is a fresh. It's just roasted with a little olive oil and some fresh parsley.
So here's the finished product: the beautiful green peppers stuffed with chicken and red pepper, little Frank's hot sauce, and cauliflower for the side. Perfect for any occasion and healthy. Easy to make. We'll see you next time.
All things ideal.
After being overweight his entire life, Jeffrey underwent gastric bypass surgery. Within 10 years of that surgery, he had gained all of that weight back. He decided to then come to the Ideal You. He reached his goal, and now he's on his road to success. So, Jeffrey, thank you. Welcome, and thank you for doing this for us. When is the last time you remember being a healthy weight or being under 200 pounds?
The last time I can remember being at a healthy weight is probably never. My entire life, even in grade school, I was an overweight kid.
So prior to joining the Ideal You, I understand you underwent gastric bypass surgery. Tell us about that.
Back in 2008, I decided to have gastric bypass surgery. And within 10 years, I found myself back in the same situation. I had gained most of that weight back. As a result of Ideal You and 8 months of determination, I have lost 125 pounds, from 307 to now 185 pounds. I reached my goal, and for the past year during maintenance, I have maintained my goal weight.
Are there things that you can do now that you didn't do or couldn't do before you lost the weight?
I don't know if the things that I could and couldn't do before losing weight, I don't know if I could have. I just didn't have the drive and the ambition to do them. Certainly, I have an enormous amount of energy now that I've lost 125 pounds. I'm more active. I'm cycling. I'm involved in Roswell's Ride for Roswell for the past 2 years. The first year on my goal date, which happened to have been my birthday, I rode 50 miles from my home in Dunkirk up to Roswell on the first day, and then rode 50 miles back.
What was the strangest or most unusual reaction you got from someone?
Losing 125 pounds gets a lot of reaction. Whenever I see someone that I haven't seen in years, they just say, "You haven't aged." And I think it's funny because as part of Ideal You and the tracking of your weight loss, they also track your metabolic age.
Right.
And I started with a metabolic age of 65. And now I'm at 36. And I'm in my 50s, so I'm loving it.
Your husband lost weight along with you, even though he was not on the Ideal You program.
He ended up losing over 40 pounds himself.
Wow.
During the 8 months that I lost 125 pounds. And that was just by following our cooking and the foods that I purchased at the grocery store.
You are a member of the Buffalo Gay Men's Chorus. How has that changed, if at all, since losing the weight?
The reactions I'm getting from my friends in the chorus are great. I mean, they just can't get over how much weight I've lost, and congratulations continue to come. I feel like people are just waking up and seeing who I am, because I've always been there, but now I'm getting a lot of the hellos, highs, and waves that I've walked down this hall many times without so much as a hello from you.
How's your self-esteem?
I've always considered myself an extrovert. Being large kind of trapped me as an introvert. I'm experiencing my true extrovert personality. And every time I passed a mirror, I avoided it. Now I can't stop looking in the mirror. Posing, flexing, and I don't know if it's being too vain. I'm just in love with myself.
All things ideal. Become your ideal you.
Scott, before you started our program, did you think it would work for you?
I knew it would work for me. I have tried other structured programs. I lost weight on them. I just always gained the weight back. I literally can't get over the change in how I looked when I started this program to how I look today.
Become your ideal you. With Ideal You, your healthy rapid weight loss center. Call 631-THIN.
Last year marked our 50th anniversary, which makes Capello the longest operating salon and spa in Western New York. Years of consistency, commitment to education, and dedicated staff allow us to deliver the highest quality services and best professional products available. We strive to provide a comfortable, clean, inviting atmosphere, and Capello has been repeatedly voted Best in Buffalo. Capello Salon and Spa, styling beautiful lives so you can look and feel your best.
Become your ideal you.
I wasn't feeling well. I researched different diets, and the Ideal You was the diet that I chose. I've since lost 75 pounds. People didn't recognize me any longer. I feel like a different person. Thanks to Ideal You, I don't feel sore, and I don't feel pains and aches. I'm having the time of my life.
Become your ideal you. With Ideal You, your healthy rapid weight loss center. Call 631-THIN. All things ideal.
There are a few things in everyone's life that we can say are truly transformational. Marriage and the birth of a child are too, but for Renee, losing 20% of her body weight was transformational. We'll meet Renee and some of her four-legged friends as we hear her Ideal You story. What was your motivation for losing weight?
I'm a phys ed teacher, and I just know that I should also be a role model for my students. The other thing that was really important to me is I took on a rescue horse back in April, and I really wanted to ride her. My children have been asking me for years to please go riding with them, and she's a smaller horse and she's older, and I knew it was not okay to get on her at the weight that I was at. And my hope was to get this weight off and be able to go riding with my kids, which I did this fall.
How long have you wanted to lose weight?
I have been overweight definitely since I was 23 years old. Wow. And all the way on up. And have tried all different things. And nothing worked, nothing stuck around. Even though I knew I needed to be active and I needed to watch what I ate, I love food and I love all the wrong foods.
Tell us what you learned about your diet by being on the program at the Ideal You.
I actually learned a ton. First and foremost, I ate way too much. I knew I was overeating. I didn't realize how much I was overeating until now I see really how little I am satisfied on. The thing that I loved the most was that I could focus just on diet. It wasn't that double whammy of let's exercise every day and also watch what we eat.
What other changes have you noticed since losing over 50 pounds?
I could not do a push-up for the past 20 years, could not do a push-up. And the other day I was teaching and I actually got down on the floor and I thought, okay, here we go. If I can't do it, I'm just gonna laugh with the kids and say, oh, see what happens when you get older. And I got down, I was able to do 5 push-ups. And I probably could have kept going, but I was only demonstrating.
So now that you've lost over 50 pounds, can you imagine the activities that you do now if now you were carrying over 50 pounds?
I would come home from work and I was tired, and probably just from getting through my day. Now, I have no problems. I come home, I go out, I clean the barn, I bring the grain in, throw it into the bins, do whatever needs doing. A lot of times I'm doing extra cleaning when I get home, which I never did before. Huge change since I dropped that 50 pounds.
What has your husband's reaction been to you losing weight?
He was always supportive of me. And now the other day I caught him sending pictures of me to his friends saying, look what my wife did on Ideal You.
So just the other day you had a wonderful makeover at Capello Salon because you lost at least 20% of your body weight and you met your goal. Did you enjoy that makeover?
The whole day was just an amazing experience. And then coming home and getting out of the car in my dress and my heels with my fresh makeover and seeing my husband walking out of the barn for the first time and having him take a look and just watching his face light up was amazing.
How is your self-confidence now?
I feel great about myself.
Before coming to the Ideal You, did you know anyone who was on the program?
There were a couple teachers in my school that had lost a significant amount of weight. I did go and ask the one girl where she went, and she told me that she had done Ideal You, and my #1 question actually was, how long have you been able to keep the weight off? This particular person has kept her weight off for 2 years. I am convinced I can do this program now for the rest of my life. It is a lifestyle.
Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of All Things Ideal. Join us again next time when we'll meet another great group of people, hear their stories and their inspiration to help you live all things ideal. I'm Donna Herberger. See you next time.
All things